Students ask me, why did you study the same Yoga Sutra under two different gurus? You know, I studied the book with Pandit Vallabha Dvivedi and also under Kapar Baba. And they also ask, was there like a categorical difference? Was there a difference in meaning or approach difference, or is it even needed? So just reflecting back, of course it's a long time ago, when studying under Panditji, it was about the meticulous hermeneutics, a meticulous exegetical process. It was going back to etymology for every word if possible, if needed, comparing commentaries, going as deep as possible within commentary and extracting two types of meanings. One, what the text can say at the max, and a minimalist interpretation. What is the least the text is saying that is absolutely the case. When studying under Kapar Baba, it was not like that. It was more like the essence. It was more like relating to personal experience, and it was simplifying actually the text, or rather than a book, it became a manual. Because when I studied under Panditji, it remained to me a shastra, a discipline that I have to work hard to study so that I can be an expert, I can be a scholar. But when studying under Kapar Baba, it became a manual that I could practice. But there were also commentarial differences. For example, Panditji would not ever deviate from classical interpretations. But Kapar Baba would take the text in a more relaxed way and oftentimes give his own commentary. For example, the very first sutra, Atha Yoga Anusasanam, it comes as a compound, Yoga Anusasanam. Now the instruction of the yoga as an anusasana, as a discipline. He is not teaching this is the disciplining related to yoga. I remember him clearly connecting the first and the second sutra, and besides reading the sutra, the first sutra as the anusasana, instructions regarding yoga, he also interpreted this sutra as karmadharaya, meaning identity. He would say yoga is anusasana, while the second sutra is already saying yoga is the nirodha, suppression or cessation of all the chitta vritti, yoga's chitta vritti nirodha. He would say, what's the problem with two different definitions? Yoga anusasanam, yoga is anusasanam. But how would that even work? Then he would say, no, in shastras there are two types of definitions. One is called the tatastha lakshana, another is the swarupa lakshana. Tatastha lakshana is indifferent definition, swarupa intrinsic, like the content wise definition. And he would say yoga anusasanam is a tatastha lakshana, this is indifferent type definition, whereas chitta vritti nirodha is a swarupa lakshana, giving like a intrinsic, explaining the intrinsic attributes, intrinsic aspects. And so then he would go and say yoga's chitta vritti nirodha, and then when he is talking about the cessation of the vrittis, we are saying that vritti is mental modifications or modes or whatever. Simply his interpretation was like jobs, very simple way, the tasks of the mind, the function. He gave a very functionalist, whatever the activities it does. So, and then that is why he would say, okay, it is not about the elimination of chitta, it is about the mind, the chitta, not doing anything. And then he would go to tada drashtu swarupe avasthanam. Then instead of saying drashta, the seer is in its own swarupa, intrinsic nature, he would say, then this mind, the chitta, returns back to its own primordial nature. It's almost like reading a parallel commentary, brewing a new classical commentary. When reading or reflecting under Kapar Baba, it was about exploring new possibilities, and it was even more exciting than just going back to opening the same old book and seeing meaning as finite and historically determined. As he let me see infinite possibilities of reading the book yet again.